You've probably heard the popular saying that offense wins games and defense wins championships. Well, there's a lot of truth to that statement. If you're not able to shut down the other team's offense, then you're going to have a hard time coming away with the win as you move up in levels. Even if your offense is quite good and you can put a lot of points on the board, if you can't make any stops, that's going to hold you back. Today, we're going to cover the 3 ways to defend that will help you stop whatever attack you're facing. I'm Nicole Havlicek. This is Primetime Pickleball. Our coaching has helped thousands of players play better pickleball, and we can help you play your best game too. So please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell icon so that you don't miss out on any future videos. All right, let's dive into today's topic. First off, if you have a strong feeling that they're going to attack, it's a good idea to immediately take at least one big step off the non-volley zone line and get set. This extra bit of space and time feels bigger than it looks and can often be the difference between you defending ineffectively from right up against that non-volley zone line and calmly sending it back over when you do give yourself that little bit more time. That extra couple of feet just bought you some very valuable split seconds, which is all you need to hit a much better shot than if you're emotionally flustered and panicked because someone told you that you absolutely have to stay up at that line at all costs. You don't have to do that. That is old school thinking and it's not smart. You can always come back to reclaim that line when you're not on defense anymore, and you absolutely should. Definitely don't stay back there when you're done defending. Sometimes they attack off a ball that you didn't think they would because it was actually quite a low contact for them. That's okay, that's going to happen as players are able to hit more spin and still keep it in, even if you let it go past you. In that case, you don't have time to back up because you didn't read it early enough. The good news about that is that chances are because they hit it from so low, you'll have less time, but you'll have a higher ball, which is nice. We'll get into the best way to handle all of these scenarios and a few more as we go, starting now. So let's dive into the first option you have available to you. The first option that is most preferable if the scenarios line up for you is a full counterattack. So you're defending an attack with an attack right back. So you're able to strike back essentially with a bit of a swing. It's not a full motion because you do have to reload since there is a high probability of a counterattack coming right back at you. So to execute this, you'll have a very abbreviated backswing to almost no backswing at all, and a very abbreviated follow through so that, as I said, you can reload and be ready for that next shot that's coming back that could be fast again. So when is the right time for a strike back counterattack? Maybe they attacked too slow and it didn't overwhelm you. That's a good time for this. The better your reaction time, the more you'll be able to strike back. Some players can strike back on a very fast attack because their reflexes are lightning fast. This is where working on your reaction time and fast hands will help you. The less you're overwhelmed by power, the more you'll be able to counterattack with a strike back. As opposed to if your hands are on the slower side, you won't be able to take advantage of that as much. Another scenario is maybe they attacked plenty hard, but you got a really good and early read on it, and your paddle was right there because you were sitting on that target. Maybe you know that they almost always attack to your hitting side armpit, let's say, which is a good idea because that can jam people up. Then be ready for that and have your paddle on the ready to defend that position on your body. If you know their tendencies because you've played them before or you've observed it over time during this game, then use that against them. Hint, hint, you should be looking for what their tendencies are so that you can do that. Or maybe you anticipated really well based on the target that you see they're most likely to hit to because it's the best available option to them, versus what they would have a hard time hitting from the position they find themselves in. And you were ready for that target. Then cheers to you, kudos, and strike back on them at that time. One good example of this is that if they're attacking from here, which is more towards the middle, and you know they're likely to go straight ahead because that's a smart place to attack rather than cross court to a player that has more time, well, chances are they're going to have to come in this range. They can't hit it out wide because if you let that go, that's going out. So because they have to come through this lane here, you can slide over and be ready for that and give your backhand some space to deal with defending that attack that you know is coming somewhere in that neighborhood. And your partner should be somewhat squeezing middle at that time because that's the best position for them to be in order to help you well cover the court in that particular situation. Of course, in all of these cases, for a strike back, it's best if the ball is high enough that you can at least swing straight through, or preferably get a bit of a downward trajectory going on your counterattack. Downward would be ideal, because it'll be the most offensive back you can be. If it's a little lower than net height, then that's okay, as long as you can get some topspin roll on it, that will work out for you too. It really all depends on your skill set as the ball gets lower and lower. If the strike back counterattack is not available to you because your contact is a bit jammed up, but it's still a relatively higher contact, then you can do what I like to call a push counterattack, which is basically a placement block. You take their speed and redirect it essentially, either down at their feet or away from them. Little to no swing on your end, you're just taking their pace and deflecting it. The key to this one is, again, that your contact point is still relatively high and you can hit straight or downward, which would be ideal. When you've hit a good placement block and use their attack against them, you can then scoot forward and look to attack and capitalize on your strong block. When you can't do either the strike back counterattack or the pushback counterattack, then your best bet at that stage is to hit a reset shot back into their kitchen. A reset shot is a shot where you take all the pace off the incoming ball and land it short in the opponent's court in the kitchen. Generally, this is your best bet when they were able to get their attack down lower on you. If you counterattack back from here, you may overwhelm them with speed, but it's risky business because if you don't, then they have a high contact and have the option of a strike back or pushback counterattack on you, and that could present further trouble for you. So you need to be quite sure the speed will give them a really hard time if you counterattack from low. So when it's low, if you just don't feel the counterattack is going to work out well, which in a lot of cases it won't, especially against higher level players, resetting is your best bet. Now, it could be that you have a relatively high contact, but you just don't feel like you have a good spot to do a pushback counterattack. Your body position is just not the best, you don't feel strong in your contact, and you just also don't have a really good spot to take it to that you feel confident about, and that's going to happen, then you should reset that one too, even though it was a higher-ish contact. Short and low in the kitchen will always get you out of a jam and back to neutral, and maybe even back to offense in short order. Resetting is one of the key skills any pickleball player needs to develop if they're aspiring to break into higher levels of play. If you want to take a deeper dive into how to hit a reset shot as far as the mechanics of hitting it, then we made a video just for that, and the link to that should be on the screen now. We'll also link to it in the description below. So those are the 3 best ways to deal with any attack that comes your way: the strike back counterattack, the pushback counterattack, and the trusty reset. Go out there, get to work on these defensive tactics so you can make better stops when you're up at the non-volley zone line. As helpful as we think the tips we're sharing in today's video are, there's more to achieving success on the doubles court. Want a complete A to Z step-by-step blueprint for playing winning doubles pickleball? Check out our dominating doubles system today. Go to doublesystem.com to learn all about it. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and share. For more pro player pickleball tips, techniques, strategies, and more on how to take your game to the next level, please visit primetimepickleball.com. You'll find a clickable direct link in the video description below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one, and until then, happy pickling.